guys, welcome back to another episode of Maxwell Starr's Beer Review. Tonight we're going to take a look at a new gimmick in today's beer world. We're going to take a look at something that's the latest line of different creations from various brewers out there of creating a flavored fruit or herbal beer by simply just taking a standard beer that they already have and adding more to it. People might recognize these beers as being like Bud Light Lime or Moose Light Lime or Moose Light Blackberry, or even I even have a couple bottles of Moose Light Ginger left in my cupboard, which are like a year old now and probably will never get drank, probably down the sink. That said, the latest one from any beer manufacturer is actually from Coors, which wasn't part of the original crop, at least not here in Canada. The latest one is going to be Coors Light Iced Tea, or better known as CLIT in some circles. You know, I'm not going to go into detail what that acronym means. So yeah, Coors Light with an iced tea flavor, refreshing taste of iced tea. Anything really written on the can other than that? Alright. 4% ABV. It's Coors Light with iced tea flavor, basically. So, let's pop it open and see what I think. There's a lot of people talking about it. And I think when I reviewed Coors Light, I didn't really give it the highest review. I think I only gave Coors Light by itself a 1.5. And that was last year. One finger ahead. Straw yellow appearance. Slightly orangier than I remember, actually. Very carbonated. And it looks like the head's dying off quite quickly. Now, I didn't really care for Coors Light. It was a bit bland and a bit watery. But when it comes to creating a flavored beer, or especially some kind of alcoholic beverage that tastes like iced tea, I'm almost kind of intrigued, because I've always found that iced tea flavored alcoholic beverages carry too much of that alcohol or whatever alcohol base it uses into the flavor and kind of throws it off. Like, for example, Mike's Hard Iced Tea. I hated that one because of how much of a vodka taste it had in the very back, and it was just ended up not being pleasing because there was a little bit of an alcohol twang that threw it off. However, Coors Light is a light and flavorless beer with with alcohol in it, but the alcohol's masked quite well. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what this one's like, because it may actually be a good beer. Who knows? Let's see. Sniffing that, you can tell that there's a nice herbal tea smell with a hint of orange and lemon. It almost smells like they used orange pico tea for the tea base. Orange pico tea is popular in this part of the country. Red Rose Tea, actually being a St. John company originally, is a popular manufacturer of orange pico tea, which I've actually used as a kid for brewing homebrew iced tea. So, hey, it's a taste and a flavor that I'm used to, brings back memories, and is quite nice in an iced tea. And this one, they couldn't have picked a better one to really go with. Now, it could also be Earl Grey, so it's very nice, either orange pico or Earl Grey. Imagine the British guys would be able to knock that one off better than I can. Not much really of a tea drinker. Anyway, other than that, it's got a sweet smell and a very almost an orange citrus, but not quite like an orange juice, but more like orange drink kind of like smell. Anyway, it's enough describing the smell, the taste. The body of the beer comes off this sugary sweet with a hint of an orange drink kind of flavor, like not so much like Tang, but like an orange Kool-Aid. An herbal finish to the very back, and a touch of corn in the aftertaste. And there's a little bit of a lingering sweetness across the back of the tongue. Other than that, oh, and a little corn taste in the back. Said that already. Other than that, it's very watery. But surprisingly enough, it finishes decently dry. Not incredibly dry, mind you, but just decently dry. All in all, it's not that bad. There's not really a whole lot you can say about this, other than the fact that perhaps it's better than it should be. You'd think that a gimmick such as adding iced tea flavor to a common beer like Coors Light might just be what it sounds like, a gimmick. But at the same time, I find that this is probably one of the better iced tea flavored alcoholic beverages you can buy, because they took a light, watery beer, there's hardly any beer flavor to this, and then they mixed it with a decent taste of a real brewed, almost, iced tea. Maybe it isn't like a real brewed iced tea, it's hard to tell these days, but when you compare it to like this, if you were to think that this is, if you were to be handed this and not told that it was alcoholic or had beer in it, how would you know? Other than looking at the color, of course. And maybe those tastes are created by chemicals, but I have to say that I at least approve of it. And Neely has had a few cans of this already, so she actually does approve of this beer as well. And I gotta say that I find it quite decent, and that's an amazing thing to say about a Coors product, because we'd only get the Coors Light up in this neck of the woods, and I didn't really care for the Coors Light in the first place. So I gotta say, this is actually quite impressive, and one of the better fruit beers out there when it comes to fruit or herbal beers, when it comes to being a generic brand name. Well, not generic, but like a common macro brand name made with some kind of flavoring. The only one I like better than this is Moosehead's Moose Light Lime. So if you see it, try it. You might actually like it. For me, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, which is really speaking a lot for what the quality of this is. Honestly, it's better than it should be, because it's just a basic beer with flavoring added, but it ends up turning out to be a nice, refreshing, tasty beer. Whew, that's a hard one to say. Anyway, thank you for watching Maxwell Starr's beer review. I hope you enjoyed watching my review of Coors Light Iced Tea, or Clit. And I'll talk to you guys later. Cheers.